Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of the Quantum Creating Podcast. How to bring the formless into form and other true stories with me, the Quantum Mentor, Paul Webb. And welcome, as I say, to episode number 2. And thank you so much for all the feedback, both positive, negative and neutral, for the first episode. And it means a lot to me that you take time out of your lives to just send me messages and even voice messages. I've got a couple of, and I'm glad that the majority, the very vast majority, have really enjoyed the show and the concept, and are excited, as am I, with what we've got moving forward. And I'm joined today by a very special, unannounced and unexpected guest, because as I've hit record for this podcast, I've noticed that there's a big wasp in the room with me, and I shall try to ignore him or her and carry on with the content I have for you today. But should you hear me scream, or should you see me jump up, if you're watching this video, you'll know I've been stung. But I shall carry on stoically regardless, because that's the kind of guy I am. I want to ask you a question as we step into this second episode. You know, most people wait until they have no option to change. Most people will wait until they're diagnosed with a really serious illness, or they'll wait until their marriage fails, or they'll wait until they go bankrupt. They'll wait until some sort of tragedy befalls them before they change. But the question I want to ask you is, why wait? It's a simple question, and I want to know if you can answer it. Why would you wait for tragedy when you have it in you the power to change at the drop of a dime, as they say? You know, quantum law clearly states that all possibilities exist right now. Quantum law, as all universal laws do, are 100% present everywhere in the universe at the same time. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what you think. Well, it does to a degree, but we'll come to that another place and time. But these laws are applicable. They're applicable to you. They're applicable to myself. They're applicable to Lionel Messi. They're applicable to Mozart. They're applicable to Nelson Mandela. You don't even have to know them. You just have to align with them. And throughout this process of podcasts I'm going to bring to you, we are going to go through these and how you can do just that. So again, the question is, if this law, this quantum law states that all possibilities exist right now, then why wait? That health you want, it exists right now. That wealth and abundance you want, it exists right now. That business that you want to build, in some form, it exists right now. That relationship you want, that aligned, all-in, conscious relationship, full of love and joy and happiness and laughter, it exists right now. So again, what are you waiting for? You know, Einstein once said that you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it. You have to somehow transcend where you are to answer any questions or any puzzles or any problems you have. Because where you are right now is an echo, an artifact of your thoughts, your words, your behaviors, your habits, your actions from previous. You see, if you think where you are now, you're going to get more of the same. If you act where you are now, you're going to get the same results. If you say the same things over and over again to the same people, you'll see the same situations around you. There'll be no difference. As Einstein said, you have to transcend that first. Quantum law shows that this is true, that you have to start, as we say in the trade, with the end in mind. And if you can't do that, well, then you'll just carry on getting the same results over and over and over again. I think it was Einstein that said that indeed is the definition of insanity. And we do not want that in our lives. If you did, I'd humbly suggest that you weren't here listening or watching this now. Let me take you back to the 17th of December, 1903. Does that date mean anything to you? What if I threw in a location, let's say near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina? I'm sure more of you understand what I'm talking about now. Let me throw in the protagonists' names, Orville and Wilbur Wright. Now are you with me? That is a date, time and place and personage, if you like, that is etched in the annals of human history. It was the day that humans finally achieved heavier than air powered flight. Orville Wright, with his brother Wilbur, became the first humans to succeed in effectively aircraft flight. That was the day it was done. But you know what? I'll let you into a little secret. It happened before then. In fact, it probably happened thousands of times before then. It happened in the minds and imaginations of Orville and Wilbur Wright. You see, as I said on podcast number 1, things are created twice. First in the world of the formless, our imagination, our mind, and then in the world of form, in the physical world, which we inhabit as a physical being. Without the first, the formless, the form cannot come into being. Everything around you, as we said in episode 1, is a creation that started first in the mind of one or more people. So Orville and Wilbur Wright had this dream, this vision, this image that they couldn't let go of, that powered heavier than air flight was possible. And so undoubtedly, I don't know much about the brothers. I don't know them personally, clearly. But I understand how this process works. And they would have held on to that end vision, the image of a successful flight. And they would have held on to that against insurmountable odds when everyone and every bit of common sense said it couldn't be done. But you know, thankfully, common sense isn't necessarily common in this instance. And they went with their image. They failed time after time after time, but didn't look on it as failure. They looked on it as feedback. And as a result, they got closer and closer and closer. You know, the interesting thing was that the conditions for powered flight have existed since the Earth itself. It just needed to be brought into form. The Wright brothers didn't have to get on a bus and go to another planet to bring back the conditions. They just had to hold the image of the finished flight firmly in their mind and then go to work every single day with deliberate practice to make it so. And then on that day, that winter's day in 1903, the 17th of December, they achieved what they set out for. But they didn't stop. They kept going and going and going. And as a result, you and I, we can jump on an aircraft and go anywhere in the world very, very quickly. Within a day, we can get anywhere. We can send craft into space around distant planets, into interstellar space, and landers on comets, for crying out loud. I often wonder what the Wright brothers would make of it. But I bet they'd be thinking ahead I bet they would be thinking of something truly magnificent to do with the technology. So you see, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for something to go badly wrong before you change the course of your life. You can make a decision right now. You can draw a line in the sand right now. And you can say, actually, do you know what? This is what I want. I don't know how I'm going to get it. And right now I don't care. But I am no longer going to put up with this. It doesn't serve me anymore. So I'm going to now look at this. And I'm going to do what Einstein says. And I'm going to transcend my current thinking and start with the end in mind. And from there I will create this new health or this new wealth or this new business or this new relationship or indeed this new technology, whatever. That, my friends, is down to you. But the process works because it's universal law. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. You don't have to believe in gravity to know it works. Step off your roof. You'll find out extremely quickly and very violently, painfully that it does. You don't have to know how it works. You know it's there. If you want to juggle tennis balls, you'll be thankful that there's gravity. If there wasn't, you'd launch them into space and there'd be no juggling. So just suspend disbelief and get to work. Construct this vision. Bring it into life. Start by getting it down on paper. You have to bring the formless into form. And the way you do that is you bring it, you bring it into form. Get the idea on paper. Be as descriptive as possible. Make it multi-sensory. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Describe it in great detail, because this is part of the process of bringing the formless into form. And writing it with pencil and paper or pen and paper is bringing it into a version of form. And then you can make a plan as to how you're going to attain it. And that plan is basically just a step-by-step process that you commit to daily. A mentor of mine, who I will have on this program very soon, taught me a very useful and very simple formula. Simplicity plus consistency equals success. Write it on a post-it note and post it everywhere. And then get to work on bringing your formless into form. I hope that this has stirred something in you. I hope that you now have a bit of a more clear understanding of the process that you need to take. Sure, it ain't easy, but what is really? But it is simple. And time is going to go anyway. You are going to do things every single day. You will make choices every single day. The question is, are they choices that are in alignment with what you say you want? Or are they choices that are just forced upon you because you're not taking that action? Don't be the person that on their deathbed dies with their music still in them. Bring that music into the world of form and let other people experience it with you. That's all I've got for today on episode number 2 of the Quantum Creating podcast. I will see you next week on episode number 3. And remember, like, share, download, review, all that wonderful, juicy stuff really helps me so very much. And by doing that, I'm able to come here and bring you the content that I can to help you upgrade your wonderful, wonderful lives. Have a truly, truly magnificent day. Thank you.